In this video, I'll show you guys how to make a carrot cake loaf. The recipe will be in the description below. I start by combining all the dry ingredients, adding in 250 grams of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of sea salt, and I do kind of just eyeball that part. Then I whisk it all together until it's well combined. After that's done, I start on the wet ingredients. And I add 1 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, (200 grams or a cup of sugar, 200 grams or a cup of light brown sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then I whisk that all together until everything is combined. Then I'll add 4 eggs, one at a time, until each egg is well incorporated into the batter. You'll notice that as you mix more eggs into the batter, it'll slowly start to change into a consistency that is more smooth and ribbony until you get this final texture. Then you'll fold the dry ingredients to the wet. I did mine in 2 parts, and you'll keep folding until you don't see any more dry specks. Don't worry too much about small clumps of flour. To avoid that, you can sift in the dry ingredients. I like to think that when I fold the carrots and nuts in, it'll break apart. Now I'll add roughly 3 cups of shredded carrots. I like to shred the carrots myself because it adds more moisture to the loaf. You can definitely use the pre-shredded ones. I would just soak it in water for about 10 minutes before folding it in. Then I add 2 handfuls of pecans. This part is definitely optional. You can add a different type of nut, or you can choose to add something like raisins or just opt out of it altogether. I like to spray my pan with a non-stick spray instead of doing a butter and flour mixture, just because I think it's a little bit easier. Then I add a parchment paper that is already cut to the length of the loaf, and I fold it down, and you're ready to pour in your batter. After you pour in your batter, it's going to go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 60 to 70 minutes. While your loaf is in the oven, you can get started on the cream cheese frosting. You'll need an 8-ounce package of room temperature cream cheese. You'll cream it until it is nice and smooth, and then you can add in the powdered sugar. I personally don't like my frosting to be too sweet, so I only do a total of 3/4 of a cup, mixing in 1/4 at a time. Occasionally, you'll want to stop the mixer so that you can wipe down the sides of the bowl with a spatula to make sure that all the powdered sugar is incorporated. Once the powdered sugar is fully mixed in, you can add the heavy cream. I like to add half a cup of heavy cream 1/4 at a time because I like my frosting to be a little more airy than dense. You can add more or less depending on the consistency that you want. I mix it for about 2 minutes on medium speed until I get my desired texture. This part is optional. I wanted to pipe my frosting onto the loaf, but you can definitely slap on the frosting however you want. After I finished filling my piping bag with the frosting, I left it in the refrigerator to chill until the loaf was ready to be taken out the oven. When your loaf is ready, put it on a cooling rack for an hour until it is cool to the touch, and then you can add the frosting. I chose to do a basic zigzag pattern. Again, you guys can do whatever pattern you'd like, or just lather it on with a spatula. Now comes the moment we've been waiting for, and I happen to be blocking the camera. But there is a second slice where I'm not in the frame. This cake is so rich, and some people may hate this word, but it's definitely moist. I do want to mention that I added more cinnamon than the recipe calls for, but I promise you it tastes amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know if you guys end up making it.